Sophie Alvarez was the kind of woman people overlooked. Quiet, hardworking, the kind of employee who stayed late, fixed everyone else's mistakes but never got credit. Her boss, Richard Kane, loved it that way. He was flashy, expensive suits, big handshakes, a lawyer with friends in high places, and a cruel streak behind closed doors. At meetings, he stole her ideas. At parties, he mocked her accent. And when Sophie uncovered evidence of shady financial transfers, Richard struck first. He framed her, planted files on her computer, called in favors from his friends and the police. Within a week, Sophie was ruined. Her name dragged through the mud, fired, isolated. Her parents whispered, maybe she did it. Her friends stopped answering her calls. Richard had all the power, and Sophie, she had nothing. Or at least, that's what everyone thought. But Sophie noticed things, too many things. She could recall the exact date Richard met a client in secret. She remembered the numbers scribbled on sticky notes he tore up. She remembered the sound of his password when he typed too quickly. She remembered names, addresses, even the way his voice trembled when he lied. Her mind was like a vault, and slowly, she began to unlock it. She built folders. She gathered receipts. She copied fragments of files she had glimpsed only once. Richard thought she had disappeared, but Sophie was watching, always remembering. Richard, of course, fought back. He was clever. He hired private investigators. He planted false trails. One night, Sophie caught a black car following her home. Instead of panicking, she jotted down the license plate on a napkin. Then she hid it away, just like everything else. It became a war. Every time Richard moved money offshore, Sophie knew which account he used. Every time he bribed a judge, Sophie remembered the date of the golf trip. Her memory was frightening, even to her. It was as if her mind had built a secret structure, a place where nothing was lost. 3 years passed. Richard soared higher. Promotions, luxury penthouse, newspapers calling him untouchable. And then, Sophie struck. Anonymously, she leaked files, sent tips to regulators, passed documents to journalists, and finally dragged Richard into court. In the courtroom, Richard smirked. "She has nothing," he whispered to his lawyer. But when Sophie spoke, the smirk disappeared. She recalled exact dates of illegal transfers, exact phrases he had muttered in meetings, even the serial numbers of stolen bonds. His lawyer jumped up. "No one can remember that much detail." The judge leaned forward. "Miss Alvarez, how are you recalling this so precisely?" The room fell silent. Richard sneered, waiting for her to stumble, but Sophie just smiled. "Years ago," she said softly, "I learned a technique. The memory palace. You build a house in your mind. Each hallway holds a memory, each room a secret. I built one for Richard Kane. And in that palace, I stored every crime, every insult, every betrayal. He thought I was weak, but I never forgot. I was simply waiting." She pulled out her final piece of evidence, documents cross-checked against the memories in her palace. The courtroom gasped. Richard's face turned pale. For the first time, he realized the truth. He hadn't just been caught. He had been trapped in a prison Sophie built years ago. The ruling was swift. Fraud, corruption, embezzlement, disbarred, bankrupt, prison. Sophie walked out of the courthouse into the flashing cameras. A reporter shouted, "How did you do it?" She turned, eyes calm. "I didn't. My mind did. He locked himself in my memory, and I simply turned the key." The memory palace wasn't just a trick. It was her revenge. Because when the victim remembers everything, the abuser has nowhere left to hide.